You ready to go, Stephanie? Or do you want me to start?
She's going.
I'll introduce you, Jeremy, when it's time. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Spring 2022 Virtual Fabric Show. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Stephanie Sheridan, and I'll be your host today. I have been working with Benartex for over 10 years as a quilt designer, pattern writer, and now social media coordinator. We have over 30 brand new collections in our spring release, and we're excited to share some of them with you today. A few notes before we begin. Number one, we will be taking questions from the audience at the end of each session today. So please feel free to type your question into the chat box during the presentations and the panel discussion. Also, please visit our website, benartex.com, or our Virtual Fabric Show website, which is virtualfabricshow.com, to see these full collections and to find out more information about all the fabrics you see here today. When you see something that you love, and we are sure that you will, please ask your local quilt shop to order the fabrics. They can contact their Benartex sales rep, order through one of our many distributors worldwide, or contact us directly through our website for more information on ordering. Just a reminder, we only sell to independent quilt shops. You won't find our fabrics in any of the big box stores. Now I'd like to introduce Jeremy Jeffries, our National Sales Manager, from some opening remarks. Jeremy?
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Thanks for all the hard work that you and Mary Elena have put into creating this broadcast. And of course, thanks to all of our great designers, some new ones who you're going to see, and some who've returned to the business after a short hiatus. So it's an international event. We are broadcasting around the world. So I'm going to say hi to some of our export customers. Bienvenue for our French speakers, and benvenuto for our Italians. Welcome in and welcome to our mainland Europeans. And a big welcome to you throughout the United States or anywhere where they speak English. We're glad to have you with us. We have a lot to discuss today, a lot of great things coming down the pike in the next 4 to 6 months. Benartex has been one of the very few companies that has pretty much remained in stock throughout the pandemic. We were able to keep on shipping throughout the pandemic, thankfully, because we split our warehouse into 2 crews in case there was a problem, which was excellent management on the part of Marielle, our distributor, our warehouse distributor manager. So we've done all the right things, and we've only had 1 price increase too. So we're keeping all of our costs and our freight down to help the store owners and, of course, you, the consumers that may be watching. We are keeping an honest price, and we never sell to Walmart. We never sell to Hancock. Hancock is gone. To Hobby Lobby. So we never sell to Joann's, and we don't sell to Michael's either. They're starting to carry some fabrics here and there. So we are only independent stores. So you will only find our fabrics in the independent stores. So please do shop your independent stores and machine dealers. They are community centers for the hobby, and they must be supported. And they are our only customer. So all of our designers that join us, they really appreciate that. And Benetech is also different, and I'm speaking both to the store owners and consumers. We reprint. One and done is not good, because like me, if you make a mistake, you need an extra 1/3 of a yard of some fabric. If it's not available, you can't finish your project. That's not helpful. And if the store has a great kit, they can't make more kits to sell, and so on and so forth. So we try to do all the right things. We make all of our pre-cuts handmade here in America in our warehouse in Elmwood, up in Rhode Island there. And you know, we do everything we possibly can to support the quilter and the independent store owner. So again, to the consumers watching, please do support your independent stores. They are the best place for help, for ingenuity, for inspiration, and of course for good quality fabrics. So with that said, we've got some good quality designers, some of the very best in the industry, and some of them have left other companies to join us, which I think is hats off to Benetech, to our quality, and to the way we do business. Designers don't stick around if they're not treated well. People like Eleanor Burns, who've been with us, I think, 25 years this November. Nancy Halverson, who has 2 new collections shipping in a couple of months, which we are so excited about, plus books and projects and things. So that's really exciting. She's been with us about the same amount of time, as has Paula Nadelstern and many others. And then we've got some great new additions as well. People like Andi Metz from my home state of Pennsylvania. I say home state, obviously I'm not from, anyway, whatever. Jim Shaw and Jan Shaw, a great husband and wife team that I'm sure you've seen some of their designs and many of their gift items in the better quality gift shops around the country. And one of the most exciting things, let me ask you a question. Have any of you ever seen a sewing machine set fire to or thrown off the top of a roof? I have, and I seem to remember it still worked after these guys did it. The Soya Boys from Las Vegas, Nevada. They have a fabric line, and it is going to be shipping in September. So we are super excited about that. I mean, who could ask? Three great guys with a great store. It's worth visiting. Don't bother going to see the porn star's place in Las Vegas. It's tiny, and the guys that are on the TV are never there. The Soya Boys are in their store every day, so you can actually get to meet them. So they're great. I mentioned Andi Metz. Andi is from Pennsylvania. She is what we now call the Gnome Lady. And since we're going with those kind of nomenclatures, let's talk about the Cat Lady. Of course, that's Ann Lauer, Catitude, Doggone It, Horses, Unicorns, all those great things. Ann's got a couple of new lines coming up as well. And you'll get to meet and see Ann in a couple of hours. So we've also got Cherry Guidry coming up. Cherry will be in the next hour. She's got another new line coming up. And of course, all of her designs work together. Like many of our collections, they'll work from season to season. So if you've got a little bit left in your stash, or if you've got a little bit in the store, it will work with the next group. And that's something else that Benetech make great strides to try to help you make things work together. A great name, one of the very largest in terms of blogs and followers, is Pat Sloan. And Pat left another company a couple of years ago, because of course we reprint, and so she is able to do really well by getting more fabrics into the stores so that many more people can take part in her sew-alongs. And then the last big names you've heard me mention, Eleanor Burns and Nancy Halverson, and then we've also got Modern Quilt Studio, and they started years before even QuiltCon started. And that, of course, is Weeks Ringle and Bill Kerr from Modern Quilt Studio out in the Chicagoland area. So incredible designers, great quality fabrics. We've been shipping on time throughout the pandemic. So thank you for supporting Benetech's fabrics. You'll notice we've got new logos coming out now. We've rebranded the entire company. And you'll notice we've got some great new fabrics, and we're shipping, as I said, on time. So glad you could join us today. Please stick around until 3 o'clock because you're going to meet some fantastic preeminent designers in the quilting and making industry. So welcome to Benetex. We're glad you could join us and have a great time and think of some great questions for these fantastic designers. We appreciate your business. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeremy. And now it's time to start the show. Our first designers that we have up today are our newest designers, the Soya Brothers. They will be sharing their Not Your Mama's Garden collection. These bold and offbeat fabrics will be in stores this September, and we bet that you are going to love them. See what I did there? They're from Vegas. We bet you're going to love them. First, I'm going to show you a quick video, and then we'll hear from the Soya Brothers. All right, guys, go ahead.
Hi, so I guess quick introduction first. So my name's Brody.
I'm Tiangum. I'm Zach.
So we're the Soya Brothers out of Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a brick and mortar store in Vegas called Soya Quilting, as well as a online shop, soyaquilting.com. And most people know us from our YouTube channel, like Jeremy was saying. We have a YouTube channel called Soya, and we kind of take your non-traditional approach to sewing. We're all brothers. We come from a large family, and we've taken sewing machines underwater. We've sewn underwater. We've sewn pretty much in all kinds of crazy conditions, and that kind of led us to working with Benetex. And through working with Benetex, we've now been able to come out with our first line. So we're super excited and excited to be here and show you what we've got. So I guess any questions you have, Stephanie? Oh, you're muted.
I even wrote myself a note to remember to unmute, and I still forgot. Did you guys have any of the fabrics to show us?
Yes, absolutely. So let us give you a little just behind the scenes of the line. So we kind of consider ourselves, Tiangum's going to try to hold this up here. We're not in our normal studio, so forgive us for the shakiness. But we consider ourselves kind of like the people's quilters here. So we try to bring things to the table, this being our first fabric line, bring things to the table that we've seen that everyone enjoys. So we have found a colorway that we really liked, as well as one that we've seen is popular among quilters, and tried to incorporate them with some of the other motifs and aspects of these patterns that again, we've seen that people enjoy. So something that it's kind of a surreal experience to have something you've designed, you know, shown on the internet, as well as, you know, that we have it here in our hands right when it first arrived.
Well, and there's a whole process behind this that the viewers here and welcome viewers don't really get a see of. Like, you submit artwork, and this is all new to us, right? So we submit artwork, and then you hope that Venertex says yes, and then they say yes, and then it's a waiting game of like, did they mean yes, or is they actually going to be printed? And then you get your strike offs, and then it's like a sort of very, very surreal moment. Like, we finally made it to be a designer, especially with an amazing company like Venertex.
When we opened up the package with the few samples that we got, or the fabrics we got, opened it up, and everyone was kind of like, wow, this is cool. You know, it's kind of just a really surreal experience of, you know, we open fabric all the time. We sell fabric in our store. We sell fabric through our YouTube channel, and it's surreal to have it be your own fabric you're opening up.
And not only that, like, I've seen the lineup for today's virtual quilt show here, and it is absolutely amazing, the designers that you have coming in here. And we've been selling them for years, you know? And so it's really cool to be in the same room with your now fellow designers and be able to talk to them and be bigger and part of this industry.
We were watching the upcoming, or the little slideshow video. I was like, oh, hey, that's Jan and Jim Shores. Oh, hey, that's Andi Metz, you know, and kind of cool to just be on the same page. So
That's great. So when you first came up with the fabrics, how did you come up with the name for the collection? Because I feel like there's a story there.
Well, that's Zach too, right there. Right?
Yeah. So first of all, so our company name is Soya. You'll see how often you say Soya throughout your normal day. Just Soya, we're gonna go grab a bite to eat, or Soya, we're done with this, whatever it is.
We were hanging out with Krista Watson 2 or 3 days ago at BDTA, and we're just having a normal conversation, and even her, she was like, so yeah, anything that you guys need, and then just started laughing a little bit because you realize how much you say so.
So obviously we're not your normal quilt store owners or designers, being 3 brothers in the industry. So when we first started with the design process, we finished the designs, and then we kind of worked with Venertex's team of just back and forth of like, hey, so what should we name this? And all the names that were suggested were like, you know, your normal quilt store fabric line names like Magical Garden or Mystical Garden or Butterfly Paradise, or all those names. And Zach was the one that came up and coined the name.
Yeah. Like, I was actually looking at some of the pre-cuts in our shop, and it was like every other one was, you know, Springtime Garden, or, you know, these really kind of cutesy names. And it's like, we don't want to be just another garden line. We wanted to stand out. And so that kind of led to a little conversation, and we ended up with Not Your Mama's Garden, because we do want it to just say right from the very beginning, this is a little bit different than what you would typically find in the line.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's so our parents are, my mom is the original quilter that kind of started the idea behind Quilt Store. And one day she came in after we had finished designing, and she said, wow, you know, I think I would change this. And it was kind of funny because you're kind of just like, well, Mom, you know, we're not going to change that. It's set. That's what we're doing. And then the idea, Not Your Mama's Garden Company, was like the perfect fit of the name for the line. So that's kind of where it came from.
Love you, Mom.
That's great. So do you have any of the other fabrics that you can show us?
Sure, yeah. I think, you know, so we're actually across the country from our normal studio. So I think we don't have the other strike off pieces, but we just have the other side of this here. We'll show you, kind of give you the idea. So we only have one colorway here of the 2. There we go, hold that one up. So check this out here. So the idea behind it was incorporate the colors, that the blues, the purples, the greens, and then we also go in kind of that orange tone. The orange tones we don't have here, we're on camera with us. But to be able to get them, let me show this print here, like this here, kind of get the tones that incorporate and mix together, kind of your perfect color wheel creation. So that was the idea behind it.
Well, and as everyone knows, like, there's been some amazing purple and green lines throughout the last couple of years, as long as we've been in business. And it's been a quick minute since we've had a more of that saturated color tone along with this off orangey color. Every now and then you'll see a collection that has this off orangey color, and every time that we've seen them, they always have done phenomenally well in our brick and mortar. So we said, you know what, for our first line, we want to stay true with the things that we love and also the things that the people love. And so we went with these beautiful greens, purples, and a little bit of orange in there just to give you that tone your tone differences and a really nice color palette.
That's great. And I'm kind of excited about the design that you're showing there because I actually designed that free pattern.
Right, yeah, right.
And I had a great time playing with your fabrics. They're so interesting and different and new and fresh, and I can't wait to see what quilters make with them.
Thank you, us too.
Okay, so do you guys have anything else for everybody before we move on to our next presenter?
I think just the last thing is if you haven't checked out our YouTube or our social media, hop on there. We have a lot of fun. We have live sales every Tuesday and Saturday, and you'll get to see our lines as well as all the wonderful designers you're going to see here. Just come and stay for the ride and have some fun.
And a huge thank you to all of the people out there watching this, that you guys have taken time out of your day to watch this, see what's new in the industry, and continuously support Benartex and our local quilt store. So thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so now we're going to get reset, and we're going to share another video of Andi Metz and all of her wonderful world of gnomes. You'll be able to find these collections that we're showing you, Gnome Wonderland and Spooktacular Gnomes, beginning in May. And then the Gnomebody makes it better. That's hard to say. Gnomebody makes it better. This will be out this fall. So one moment and I'll show you the video.
Welcome to Gnomeland. I have spent the last 14 months in various Gnomelands and have had so much fun. It all started with the Spring Gnome collection, and I never dreamed what it would turn into. I've had so much fun creating these collections, I hope it shows. The first collection I'm going to tell you about today is Gnome Wonderland, which has 16 SKUs. The free pattern I created for this collection is the snow gauge and wall pocket. And for those looking forward to the snow-filled winter season, I thought the snow gauge would be a fun way to keep track of how much it snows. Every time you get an inch of snow, you add a snowflake, and hopefully you'll be able to fill up your gauge to the top. While you're waiting to add the snowflakes, you can keep them in your wall pocket, which also makes a cute wall hanging for winter. I had asked my sister to make the snow gauge sample. She loved the outcome, but thought the snowflakes were a little bit small to sew and leave an opening to turn. So she sewed them all the way around and then slit a hole in the back and turned it right side out. And thought that was a little bit easier and that they turned out a little more round. I will add that note on the pattern. My sister also designed this quilt behind me using the gnome boxes. The boxes have cute sayings in there to inspire you: the magic of winter, be joyful, delight in the day. It makes for a neat quilt that's bright and fun, and it'd be great to snuggle by the fire under this quilt. My mother loves her Dunwoven tea towels, so she's been having fun making samples of the stripe fabric and putting them on the tea towels. The gnome doll panel comes with 4 dolls, and they are quick and easy and nice to set out for winter. They're fun to play with, and my mother was even chatting with Over the Rainbow Fabrics, and they had an idea of sewing just the front panel onto a jacket. Whatever you do with your fabric, I hope it turns out gnome-tastic. By far, I had the most fun creating the Spooktacular Gnomes because Halloween is my very favorite holiday. This collection has 20 SKUs. I loved creating the panel, and that's where I started. It has the witches by the cauldron, and it works its way up to the haunted mushroom house at the top of the hill. When you enter the area, you'll see my gnome gargoyles on the pillars, and you'll notice the iron fence has little bats and spider webs on it. There's lots of little details in here that I think are really fun. I thought it would make a really cute door decoration, so I added a border and added little pockets to put little treats in. Not necessarily for your trick-or-treaters, but maybe for your children or grandchildren as they come through the door. I made 2 other free patterns to go with the collection. One is a trick-or-treat bag. It's quick and simple. It's very easy. A lot of years my boys used a pillowcase to put their candy in as they were walking the neighborhood, so this bag is a little reminiscent of that. It's just a little smaller. It has a wide opening to toss the candy in, and it has a handle. After making the bag, I folded the handle at the top and made a little 2-inch stitch to make a smaller grip for a smaller hand. This is the candy bowl, and I used the Gnome Bars candy fabric for the inside, and I think after looking at it, you'll be able to guess some of my favorite candies. I used some of my favorite gnomes for the doll panels, and I think they turned out really darling. I just wanted to show you 3 of my favorite fabrics from this collection. Now, actually, they're all my favorite because I had so much fun, but I think the ones that really stand out for me are the stripe, and I think it just tells a little story. You have the trick-or-treater carting his candy, you have the mummy, the pillars, the fence. The next fabric I wanted to show you is called Hocus Pocus Gnomes, and it's a toss of gnome witches, and you have moons and stars, witches, you have a few witches on brooms, and 2 witches by the cauldron. It's just really what Halloween is all about. And the third fabric I wanted to show you is called Spooky Gnome Scenic. And again, it just seems like it tells a story where you can go through the haunted town. You see the haunted mushroom house, and you can meander past the gargoyle gnomes and through the fence and by the spooky trees, and you find the witches and the graveyard. And there's a lot more fun fabrics in this collection. My mother made her tea towels again using this stripe for samples, and they really add a little bit of Halloween to your kitchen. And speaking of the kitchen, the gnomes from Gnomebody Bakes It Better joined me for some baking this winter. It has 23 SKUs, and the colors of the Baking Gnome collection are soft and warm. The collection has a boxes panel with fun sayings like "Let Love Rise" and "Just Roll With It." My first job was in a candy store on the Ocean City Boardwalk, and I remember loading up the macaroons in the display case, so I added them into the art. I loved painting all the other goodies, the cakes, the cookies, the cupcakes, the bread hot out of the oven. My mom used to bake desserts for the restaurant where I worked, and my nan used to bake pies for her church auction. So I come from a line of bakers and was excited to include family recipes, some of which are in their own handwriting in the Nana's Recipes fabric. That's available in jade and pink. The free pattern that I created is this apron, and I love it so much I'm going to try it in different color combinations from the fabric. Once again, my mom used the stripe fabric in this collection for tea towel samples. My sister created some cute little pot holders, and there is a doll panel with 3 baking gnomes available. I made a commercial pattern for placemats and a table runner. I just didn't have a chance to make the table runner yet. My sister made the same quilt she made for Gnome Wonderland in the baking fabric using the boxes panel. There's some more of the fun sayings. Do not worry, be happy. I think you'll love the boxes. I had fun trying to make a 3D gnome, and I've made one for every collection. Gnomes to me are warm and friendly creatures, and in a lot of the art you'll find hearts. And it's no different in this pattern. I used a heart template to make the feet and also to make the mustache. It's a digital pattern available on my website. I think they turned out really cute. The colors in all the collections really stand out, and they're very eye-catching. They looked good on paper, but when I got the fabric samples, wow, they really stand out. I hope you love them as much as I do. I can't wait to see everything people create with these collections. It's going to be gnome-tastic.
Thanks for that video, Andi. Do you want to just take a minute and say hi to everyone that's watching?
Hi everyone, I hope you love the gnomes. It's really been a lot of fun creating all the different collections.
Great, and I'm sure there'll be some questions for you at the end. So now we're going to move into our last presenters for this session. We have the dynamic duo of Jim and Jan Shore.
Okay. Hello.
Did you guys get the webcam request? Can you turn your webcam on, please? There they are.
Does that do it?
That did it.
You
So-
can see us. We can't see you.
There we
go.
Okay, well, you know, I'll tell you what, to begin with, we are absolutely delighted to be a part of the Benartex family. You know, we really appreciate your mission statement and your dedication to the independence, because that's right in our wheelhouse too. Also, it is an honor for me personally, and I know Jan feels the same way, to be counted as artists among so many other great fabric designers. You know, we're a big fan of Andi's work and the Soya Brothers. I mean, they're just a great bunch of guys, fresh, and it's their approach is inspiring. In fact, it makes me want to rethink our cutesy names. In your face fabrics, you know. No, I'm just kidding. You know, in the art world, I'm actually mostly known as a sculptor. You know, my figural pieces, I think, are, you know, what I'm primarily known for, and some of my paintings too, and that I've licensed into the gift industry. Well, that's actually what has morphed into the application of my designs in fabric. You know, what I do normally is when I start to create something, first thing I do is I make a painting or a flat art or a color work, drawings and that kind of stuff to communicate with others what I'm going to do, and also to establish the color of the figurine or the figural piece, you know, that I'm doing for the gift industry, because I do Heartwood Creek, which is my primary line, and then I also do collaboration with Disney and with Grinch and with, you know, about I don't know, 10 or 11 other co-brands. So it goes all across the board subject matter wise. Even in Heartwood Creek, you know, it's a lot of seasonal stuff, you know, Santas, angels, snowmen, but I have lighthouses and I have cats and you know, red trucks and just all kinds of stuff. So so the idea is to utilize and maximize the effort of the artwork. So we take the, you know, the flat art that I've generated and I've created, and that's what actually is the
gonna
things
show
that we
some.
apply to the thing. So
I
Jan's
don't know
gonna
if you
show
can
you,
See the, tell me if it's
blocking
showing.
me out, by the way.
Let's see if I can get it in there. I don't think it's gonna show. But this is some of it. Can you see it? Dominic, can you see it? Okay,
Yeah, I can see it. Good.
okay. So there's some.
So that's a whole angel collection. I've done hundreds of angels in figural pieces, so we use a lot of that artwork. And then as the angel is the primary subject matter, we've taken all of from the style guide, we've taken back borders and backgrounds and patterns and mixed them all up with the angel drawings and made toss patterns. We've made rest patterns. We've made stripes. We've made all sorts of things that revolve around that subject. And then we've done that very thing in several colorways. So it really goes across the board, and I've got, birdhouses, there's birdhouses and lighthouses and just a lot of the subjects that we thought would be interesting that would lend itself well to, be applied to fabric collections. It'd be current, it'd be whimsical, it would be a lot of things that the quilters of today really appreciate and use. That's because that's the object of the deal, is to make things for the use of our customers, and they're the most important part of the element. And so that's what we try our very best to do. And we also we're not just a one-trick pony. We've got we're doing a book here that Jan and I put together. And when people ask us, do we know anything about quilts? We say, we wrote the book. So here it is, and that's available on jimshoreandmore.com, as a lot of other things are too. So we urge you to go there and take a look. But it's projects, it shows things that are inspired by by our artwork. Kind of comes from initially it kind of goes in a round circle. A lot of my artwork is inspired by quilt designs and quilt patterns and stuff like that. That's what I use as the design motif in a lot of cases. And then we pulled from those elements, we made into the fabric and into the projects and so forth. And as you can see, so it goes all the way around. And that's kind of the gist of the book. We've got like a piece like that. And then that is inspired a quilt or a fabric pattern. And then we generate it into a quilt, into a project, so forth. So, and Jan had really the biggest part of that. I mean, I take a lot of the credit, but she's the one that really did the work. So, teamwork. Okay, so Jan, why don't you tell us a little something about what you do, because you're the real fabric designer here.
Well, that's so not true, but so I have a new line out called French Romance, and it is,
Ooh la la.
It is, God, welcome to my world. It has some beautiful, beautiful designs, and I love I don't know if those will actually show up too well, but I love the French designs, English designs, and so I pull a lot from that. I have books ranging from 1790 to 1890. So my favorite, I won't call it reproductions, but it's taken from that area. And
explain that a little bit closer, because it's not just taking those designs, it's recognizing the elements within those designs that go together. So she pulls elements out and puts them back together and repurposes them from these gorgeous designs of yesteryear, who are strangely so current for today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes around, maybe it's going around a couple times, but the finished product, in my mind, is unique in the fact that you take just about anything that she's done. I mean, whether it be in one design pattern way or another, put them together and they work. It's amazing, particularly in a quilt.
And I like that these fabrics will work really well with the English autumn fabrics that are currently out on the market. And that was one thing also about Jim's new line that's out. I really like that his fabric designs will work for the new line that's coming up too. So the angel are more pastels, but his previous line, those fabrics will work so well with it that you can take it out of mainly a pastel into the brighter colors, which I really appreciate that, making quilts and selling the fabric. And we're actually going to do a quilt show this weekend. So if you are in Greenville, South Carolina, come see us. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You know, Jan made an important, I think, comment. You know, when you put these colors together and these patterns together, you know, I know that I've seen so many wonderful compositions that come out of the quilt, endeavors, and I like contrast. You know, that's why, typically my color palette is very wide, and I use earthy colors, and I use jewel tones, and then we have one that's called a white woodland, and that's very muted and very neutral and everything. And we've sort of tried to incorporate a little bit of that, along in the various parts of my design works here, so that the contrasts that are so eye-catching, can be done utilizing the same pattern line. So that's kind of the approach that we took. It wasn't by accident that we done the colors the way we have done, and we always have our end customer in mind. That's I think an important aspect of what we do. We recognize who we're working for. And I'll tell you another thing. Okay, I'm an artist, Jan's an artist. We're surrounded, in Benartex with great artists, and like I said, it's an honor to be a part of it. But the fact of the matter is that the real artists are the ones we're working for. You can go to a good quilt show like Houston, or Sisters, or Paducah, or any of them, and you will see artwork that rivals anything in any museum in the world. I mean, and it's done by these people that sometimes they don't even consider themselves artists. They're just making something that's beautiful, and it's the heritage, it's the tradition, and it's a lot of things wrapped into it. It's not just a blanket. It's actually living art, and we appreciate that so much. I'm constantly impressed with the composition and the beauty and the skill, and the dedication of the people that we're working for. And that's our favorite people, and that's quilters all over the world. So we're delighted and honored and just thrilled to be a small part of it. So thank you all for that.
Quilters are some of our favorite people too.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Jan and Jim, for showing us your fabrics and talking about them. For right now, we're going to switch gears real quick, and I'm going to put a poll out to our audience. And then when we come back, we'll take some questions from the audience.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the poll open for about 30 more seconds. So please, if you haven't had a chance yet, answer the question, and we will be choosing someone that has answered the poll question to win a fabulous fabric surprise from Benartex. Okay, closing the poll now. Thank you all for your answers. We appreciate it. And let's bring back all of our panelists. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so we do have some questions from the audience. I'm just going to go through this list here and ask them to you guys and see what you think. The first question we have is, what inspires your fabric designs? So, Andi, can you tell us a little bit about what your inspiration is?
Well, with the gnome collection, I think I'm given the subject of the gnomes, and then I have kind of in my head put myself where I want to be, like in the Halloween scene, what I want to be part of, and what I would imagine my town being like in Halloween, and all the fun things I'd want to see. So it's a lot in my head, and what I'd like to be part of in my little gnome world.
That's great. And how about the Soya Brothers? What was the original inspiration for your collection?
So I just have to say that we're officially changing our name to In Your Face Fabrics. That was not quite the name there that Jim said. The inspiration behind the fabrics are just we love color, and we love kind of you're out there, and we stand out a little bit in the clothing industry. So that was kind of the idea behind the line of just something that has the beautiful colors that works together with anything, and that just is in your face.
And you'll see that there's about 6-ish main fabrics that we have. The one that has the butterfly on it, the ones that have the feathers on it. We've got some really nice prints there, and the rest can go with pretty much anything in its color way. So if you have a little bit of one of your other favorite designers, maybe it be like a K Faster or something like that, you can use our basics to go along with it.
That's awesome. So let's see. Oh, we had a question. When does Jim's Angel fabric come out? I can answer that one. That fabric will be in stores starting in August of this year. That's when they'll start shipping to stores. So that's where you can start looking for. That's when you can start looking for them. And let's see. Is there a way to know which local quilt shop will carry each of the fabrics? Well, I'm guessing that the Soya Brothers, you're going to carry your own fabric, right?
On top of everybody else here, so yes.
And you can contact our customer service department if you're looking for a specific fabric. That information is available on our website.
So Stephanie, I don't get to say what inspires me.
Yeah.
You already said.
Yeah.
This is my inspiration.
Please.
Yes, please.
A love for life is what inspires me. I'm a keen observer of everything, and I love folk art. I love things that are nostalgic, and I love a lot of stuff like that. And I try to weave a lot of that in, you know, and still make it kind of slightly modern.
And how about you, Jan? I know that you love vintage fabrics. Is that your inspiration for most of your designs?
It is, yes. I have a friend who said that someone was trying to teach her a new way of doing something, and she said that she's spent her life learning how to do it the old way. So why would she need to know the new way? So yeah, I'm kind of like that too. Anything that's old, I love.
Her motto is in with the old, out with the new.
Well, isn't there a saying that everything old is new again?
Absolutely, yeah.
I hope so.
Me too.
So we have another question. Would Mr. Shore ever consider doing a winter line? Winter, not Christmas, like a blue winter
Yes.
line.
Yeah, absolutely. I sure would. In fact, some of my artwork, now a lot of my artwork that has to do with winter, has to do with Santa and snowman and stuff like that. But I do have some that are more like a tone to cardinals and to in the snow and different subjects that are not necessarily seasonal related. I've got a ton of artwork here. We've got an archive of about 16,000 drawings that I've done over the course of my artistic career, and right here in this part of the studio, we've got probably 2,000 sculptures, prototypes and that kind of stuff. So we've got lots and lots and lots of artwork to draw from, and in that is some, I think, beautiful, but I say so myself, humbly, yeah. That has to do with winter scenes and that kind of stuff, and that's the neutrality of that would be absolutely beautiful too, and you could still do some of these beautiful blues and different things like that. So yeah, it's a very, very much of a likelihood that I will include some of that. Good question.
We'll sell it.
So one last quick question for all of you. Somebody asked if each of you could, in this split screen, if you could all hold up a piece of your fabric so that everyone can see.
Okay.
There, hold on. Upside down.
Uh-oh. There you go.
Dan, where's yours?
Oh, well, it's here. It's
Get
coming.
one of those pieces. Quickly, we're on timeline there.
All right, so there's all of the fabrics. And another question. Are the Soya Brothers really brothers?
Triplets, yeah.
Identical. Yeah, we are brothers. Zach's the oldest. I'm the middle. Tankum's the youngest. We also have 2 younger sisters as well. But yeah, we are all siblings, biological siblings.
Okay, and I've got another question for you guys. This one's from me. What is everybody's favorite color?
Blue.
Duh.
Blue.
Purple. Unabashedly and unashamedly purple. I wear it every day. People ask me, do you ever change shirts? So I have 24 of them. My shoelaces are purple.
Mine are red, white, and blue. I'm a big Sun patriot, and red, white, and blue. Just always go that. Yeah, go that route.
Blue for me.
Right.
Same blue.
And mine is blue.
There you go.
So lots of blue, some purple, and a red, white, and blue. That's great. Let me scroll through here, see if I can find more questions keep popping up. So let's see. We got a comment. Martha DeMarco is a big fan of gnomes. Ella Bly says, great looking fabrics. Ella wants to know, do the sisters sew too?
Yes. Yep, they do.
And let's see.
Do the brothers sew?
Yep.
I've seen
Yeah,
them sew
anyone that,
underwater.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of fun stuff on there. We have the normal, tutorials and things like that, but there's also the fun stuff as well. So check that out.
Oh, great.
So when does the Soya fabric come out? That starts shipping,
September.
August, September.
yes, September. So start looking for it in your quilt shops in September. Where is the pattern for the quilt in the Gnome baking line? Andi, will that be on your website?
Yes, the pattern that my sister made.
Yes.
Yes, but we don't have that put together yet. But yeah, it'll be on my website soon.
Okay, and speaking of websites, does everybody want to take just a second and let the viewers know your website, your Instagram handle, Facebook, any social media stuff that you want to put out there for everybody? Andi, go ahead.
My website is easy. It's www.andimetz.com. And on Instagram, I think I'm at Andi's
You're
Easel.
at Andi Easel, yeah.
Thank you.
Ours is easy too. Mine is Jan Shore on Facebook, Jan Shore Designs on Facebook. Jim is Jim Shore Designs on Facebook. And we have Jim Shore and more for our website.
And then the Jim Shore or www.jimshore.com is my regular website, and that shows all my figural stuff and everything. So
You can find us soyaquilting.com on the internet, as well as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those as Soya.
You guys made it easy.
Yeah, we try to keep it simple.
Okay, so Ella says she'll be checking out the sites after the show. Tessa Thomas is sending love to all of you from the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. So that's a great place to be logging in from. Thanks so much for being here. And now I'm going to comment on the poll results. Let me pull that up real quick. The vast majority of you actually create bed-sized quilts, with small quilts coming in second, wall hangings third, accessories fourth, and clothing fifth. And yeah, so, and I know there was not an option for multiple things. We just wanted to see which thing you worked on the most, so that we can kind of tailor some of our free patterns maybe to those type of items that you want to have. Oh, okay, we've got one more question that I just have to throw out there. Are the Soya Brothers single?
No, each one of us are happily married. Each of us are married, and each of us have two little ones each. So,
Well,
Wow.
and really though, like if it wasn't for the wives, we wouldn't be able to do what we're able to do too. Like huge shout out to them, because there's so much that, like, we've been gone in and out of the house for weeks now for all the shows and stuff like that, and they are just a huge support to us. So
definitely the backbone of the company.
Exactly.
beautifully said. Beautiful.
Definitely.
I'm happily married too.
So in closing, I would like to first off thank all of our designers for being here and sharing about their fabric collections and a little bit about themselves. I hope you all enjoyed getting to know the designers better and seeing their newest fabric collections. And I want to thank you all for coming to our virtual fabric show. The first session, the next session will start in about 10 minutes. So please stay tuned for more designers and fabrics coming up soon. And be sure to ask your local quilt shops to place an order for any of the fabric collections that you saw today that you absolutely cannot live without. We only sell to independent quilt shops. You'll never find our fabrics in the big box stores. Please support your local quilt shops. And we truly cannot wait to see what you create with our fabrics. Please be sure to tag us in your social media when you create a project, hashtag Benartex or hashtag Benartex Fabrics, and I'll find it and then I'll repost it. And we'd love to see what you're creating. In the next few weeks, we'll be sharing more of our upcoming collections on the Virtual Fabric Show website, so please check that out. And at the conclusion of this session, you'll receive an email with a link to the recording so you can watch it again at your leisure. And you'll also receive a short survey. Please take a moment to answer that survey for a chance to win a fabric surprise. Our next session will be starting very soon. Thanks again for coming, and we'll see you again in about 10 minutes.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
We love you.